I just got through watching this video by one of my Facebook friends, and her name is China Brooks, and I'm blown away right now. Like, I'm feeling really, like overwhelmed, but not like sad overwhelmed, but just like almost ecstatic yet sad at the same time. It's really weird because the topic of her video was like sex and being like touch starved. I think that was the title of it. Let's see. It's called Conversation on Touch, Relationships, and Sex. And like, I am totally going through all that right now, trying to come out of these boxes we have, which are absolutely horrendous to me, period, point blank. I mean, you know, this age, this time that we're in right now, it's like this time of awakening where people are supposed to be waking the hell up. And I don't know. I know I got a lot of Facebook friends. We agree on a lot of things, but we're still very much separated. You know, Facebook might unite us, but we're still separated in the flesh. And I've grown to absolutely see no difference in the physical and the spiritual. They're just mirrors of one another. And actually, personally for me, I feel like your physical body is not all there is to you. And I personally know this for myself. Everybody else has to know that for themselves. But real talk, the whole issue on like relationships and sex and being connected, we gotta really do better. And that's basically what she was saying in the video. We have got to get this shit together because it's ridiculous. The whole, I'm not even gonna call it patriarchal system, because there's nothing wrong with masculine energy in certain aspects of that. It's when you take things too damn far. In her words, it's skewed. It's way far left. It's ridiculous. Like, we've gotten to this point in this society where I know for a fact that if you're in schools, you can't touch the kids anymore because kids will holler out, abuse or, inappropriate touch or whatever, because we've been taught, oh, there's this good touch and there's this bad touch, and that you can't touch anyone. And my thing is, it as a whole, as human beings, we require touch. I mean, it was crazy. She was making this video. I was like, I said all these things. I had a conversation with a friend today, and I've had a conversation with another friend, days before, and I've said all these things. And she's like, basically, it's beautiful to hear someone speaking what's in your heart and what's on your mind and what's a part of you. The fact that babies, if they're not cuddled and played with and touched, they die. They literally die. I think they call it failure to thrive, and that's what they classify it as, but there's a cause usually, because elderly people can have failure to thrive too. And actually, to be honest with you, I believe that elderly people die from the same thing, not being touched. Because I work in a hospital and we can't touch we have to wear gloves, or we're supposed to wear gloves, because of the prominence of low vibrational mindset. That's the only vibration we operate out of. So then you have all these diseases, not only STDs, but also just cancer, diabetes, all manner of disease have taken over and are running rampant, because our minds, we're only operating out of part of who we are. You can't walk around here not communicating with other human beings. You can't walk around here not touching other human beings. And when they talk about good touch, bad touch, I know they tell kids that concept stems from the fact that we have people who are living in their lower vibration, or living out of control, not in control of their own energy. So they'll do things to you that you might not want them to do. And I understand that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't tell our kids to, watch out. But there's also an aspect of, projecting your own energy. Having it as a protection, and also like just walking in a higher vibration and higher frequency, so you don't even attract those kind of negative people into your sphere. So anyway, I'm telling you, I had an experience tonight where, I'm just like, I posted on my Facebook, but I need a hug or a long cuddle. I do. I am doing a lot of work. I'm trying to work on self. But the thing is, it's not just self. All selves you see around you are also self. The first self, you do have to deal with the individual self, of course, which I see myself in the body of the big organism that creates all of us, or that makes all of us. I see myself as one cell. And yes, I have to take care of my own stuff, which I'm doing. And I feel like I've gotten to a certain level, and I'm like, I want to share, connect. I've always been like that. I don't understand, in society, we don't get that the reason why things don't work out, like, people want to say marriages don't last. There's so many broken homes. Well, there's something wrong with the system. There's something wrong with our mentality. There's something wrong with how we're operating right now. Something is horribly wrong with it. We worship this deity. The majority of the world worships this mean sky daddy, who tells you that your body is sinful, and that you were in the world but a few days, and full of sin or full of evil or whatever it is. And I'm like, what kind of parent talks to their child like that and tells them things about themselves in that manner? That's why I do not believe in the evil sky daddy. And then people will say, well, he sent his son to save you, and then beyond that, he is the son, which I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole nother issue. But the whole thing doesn't even hold water when you actually sit and look at it. Actually look at what's going on. You're not even getting what you were promised. When it talks about in the Bible having life and having it more abundantly, when? It doesn't say anywhere in that book that it happens when you go to heaven. This is heaven and hell right here, right now. And it's ridiculous that people, it's beyond me that people can't see that. And you see these people get married and have these wonderful weddings, and then usually, what's the two top reasons why people get divorced? Money and cheating, infidelity. So I'm just wondering, when are people going to wake up and see that something's not right about this system? The whole marriage, the concept, there's nothing wrong with marriage. I'm not saying there's something wrong with marriage, but the way we look at it, and the way it's set up, and the vows we take, and the mentality, and just the whole setup is just ass backwards, completely backwards. And that's what I'm freeing myself of now, because it does not work. Someone, like she was saying in the video, and this is also something I've heard plenty of other very enlightened people say, you can't show up and be your authentic self. You can't say, I was attracted to this and such, or this happened, or I was feeling this way. You have to lie, or you have to be fake, or you have to keep it secret, because if you break the rules, if you step outside the little box, or as she said, you have to walk on eggshells. If you don't walk on those eggshells, if you're not calm and quiet and make sure everything stays peaceful, guess what happens? Oh, you're gonna break up. Oh, they're gonna offend the other person. I've gotten to a point where I want you to be real with me, and I'm talking about someone I'm in a relationship with. Open up and tell me the truth. And that doesn't mean that I'm gonna like everything you say, or even accept everything you say or do. That just means at least I have the opportunity to make a decision. And it's crazy. I've always thought like that, and society has pretty much said, well, that's not really valid. That's not really the deal, because as far as our concept now is, you have to have sex with one person, and you can only touch one person, and that must be your husband or your wife. And if you do anything beyond that, you are a dirty, filthy, rotten whore, slut, skank, whatever, any other word they turned and made it derogatory. And it's really pissing me off. I'm done. I'm so done with all this negativity. I'm so done with the shame. I'm so done with us putting each other down and not understanding that this is life. My favorite song right now, and I went to a CD store, which you don't see many of those, and I walked in and I'm picking out CDs and I found Madonna. I think that CD is Bedtime Stories, and one of the songs on it is Human Nature. And I've heard that song before when I was younger, but it never hit me like now when I actually listen to the lyrics. Go get that song, listen to the lyrics. And I'm talking about meditate on the lyrics, like really listen and hear what she's saying. I bet you she wrote it in response to somebody saying something stupid, which is usually what artists do. But we completely go against our nature. We completely do not know who we are as people, as human beings. We do not know the whole spectrum of who we are. It's ridiculous. And it's starting to really get to me, but I'm having to, fight against, I'm having to make peace with that or find some way to deal with it because it's crazy. It's so disheartening to want to be something and express something and for you to see something that other people cannot see, which is that we are beautiful, loving, spiritual and physical beings, and that we require stimulation and nourishment and adoration for all parts of us, the spirit, the physical, all of it, and that it should all be caressed and held and admired. And like I said, I'm not to the point where I'm comfortable enough to share all my little experiences, but I'm telling you, I had an experience I had to let go because it was not what I wanted. It's not. If you can't look at a woman or look at a man and know that they are God in the flesh and that they are to be worshipped, admired, adored, and honored, then don't even mess with it. Like, leave it alone. And tonight fully hit me in the face. Like, I'm like, people are not getting it. They still see certain things as sinful, and it's religion all day long, and that's why I'm done. With certain religions, I have zero respect for. People will call Hinduism a religion. There's some aspects. Most religions to me are segmented parts of the truth. That's how I see them, because that's how I've analyzed them and how I've looked at them and just looked at the whole picture. But you can't live as a multidimensional being in a fragmented part of yourself. You can't live in a fragmented religion. You can't practice a fragmented religion when you are a multidimensional being. You got more parts to you than that. And there's just, please, hopefully this video will make somebody say, what are my multi dimensions? What other parts of me am I ignoring? Girl, China, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put this video on your page. Please, I'm telling you, I love you. Thank you for saying what you said, doing what you do, and being who you are. I'm coming right behind you. You ain't the only one. You got support, trust me. I mean, she was like, these people, men and women alike, do not know anything about actually touching a person, the whole person. Like, there's been many a time I want to hold a person's hand, or I'm talking about male or female, and it's not a sexual thing. It's just a connection thing. There's been many times I've wanted to just hug somebody, and I can't do it because it's not socially acceptable. You got to give me 3 feet of space. And I'm not saying that you just barge into everyone's space, but what I'm saying is, damn it, we should have enough intuition to know, okay, I can, this person needs a hug. But even when they do need a hug, I can't give it to them because society has told you, oh no, don't get too close. Oh no, you're invading their personal private space and all this shit. I'm like, really? That's why we die. That's why we die. And we suffer with so many illnesses and sicknesses. No connection to self, and no connection to the other selves, our other selves walking around this planet. which is who everyone else is, a reflection of you, because you are a reflection of God, and you are God, and you are Goddess. It breaks my heart. What is it gonna take to get people to wake up? I mean, is it just, a certain segment of the population that just has to just unite with one another and, support each other, or just look at everybody else and be like, well, they'll get there eventually? What? I don't understand. What has to happen? Because it's really breaking my heart. I'm like, really? So, I'm like frustrated, sad, mad. I'm everything right now. That's why, oh my gosh, Tantra. Everybody's talking about Tantra. I'm telling you, if you are connected at all, in alignment with anything spiritual, we all just seem to get the same information at the same time. It's beautiful. That's why I love Facebook. I love the connections, because Tantra is not just about sex like you would think. It's weaving. I think the word Tantra means to weave together. When are we all going to connect, weave together, interlock, lace together, be one? We are already one. It's just a matter of consciousness, knowing we are all one, and getting to that point. I'm telling you, man, it's just so frustrating. So anyway, yeah. Seriously, if you don't know what Tantra is, or you have not studied it, please do. And learn that it's not, or know that it's not just sexual, even though me personally, I believe all energy is sexual energy. Because sex is creation, or is what the act that act causes creation of something. And it's not just babies, can create other things too. But all energy is sexual energy. That's what I know. But for, all intents and purposes, the people who try to separate, sex, that's dirty, and that's to be separated and covered up, and all these different things, well, please think about that. Like my sister said, everybody came out of a vagina, male and female, everyone. So how do you look back and say, okay, this is where I came from, and that's dirty, and that's evil, and that's bad? Please think about these things. Please know that is insanity. Please know that we need to start connecting with one another again. Please know that you got people out here dying because they're not being touched. And I'm not talking about, when I say touched, does that offend people? Does that make you feel uncomfortable? Like I'm being touched. Why is that uncomfortable? To be hugged and caressed, or just admired and loved and appreciated. Does that make people uncomfortable? Is that a problem in this society? Seriously? I don't understand how people have relationships. I hear people talk all the time, and there's no connection. They don't even like who they're with, let alone love them. They're just they're robots. They're freaking robots, and they get married and have these kids because that's what society expects of them. It's bullshit. You should know that creating a child in love, that's a divine thing. And having sex is a divine act. And like I said, this is kind of a response to China Brooks' video. Like, if you do keep your energy to yourself, that's a personal choice, because you're cultivating something else or doing something else with that energy, because all energy is creative, is sexual energy, period. That's the root of it. Sex. You wouldn't be here. How did you get here? How did you start? You start off from the creative act. And to know God, you look at what's going on this planet. That's what the Bible says, if you want to be religious. The Bible says in Romans 1:19-20 that you have no excuse for not knowing God, because God has been made manifest and evident, and all his divine attributes and his nature has been made plain and clear in the things made. And that right there kind of lends to why we call God he. But anyway, if all the divine attributes and nature are made evident by what you see. I don't understand why we're still calling God just exclusively He. Even if you called it, or He, She, or Father, Mother, or Mother, Father, God, or something, I'd be more accepting of that. But you just walk around calling He. That just, to me, is just crazy insanity. Just proves that people are not reading the book that they say they're reading, not closely. They're just listening to the indoctrination. So anyway, please, 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 look into Tantra. Look into yourself. First of all, look into yourself. You should get tantric with yourself. Be comfortable touching yourself. And I'm talking about spiritually, mentally, physically, all that. And know you. And then spread that knowledge to others. And that divine connection to others. Because we're all divine. And there's nothing filthy or nasty or dirty about our bodies. Period. That was the other issue she was saying. And she was posting certain pictures. Oh, people got a problem with it. And, they're like, some guy had sent her a message saying, you're turning me on. And why are you posting these pictures? I probably told you shouldn't do it. What the hell? Are you serious? That's why it's called self-control. What does self mean? It means you. It means you own it. You deal with it. You work it out for yourself. That means self. It's internal. It's yours. It don't belong to anybody else. So it's self-control. Nobody said. See, self-control does not mean self-denial. It doesn't mean self-delusion. It doesn't mean self-repression. It just means control. What is control? It means to be able to wield it and move it where you want it to go, right? So when you see a woman and you're turned on by her, does that mean that you got to automatically go out and either masturbate, jack off, or have sex, or whatever you want to do? No. All energy is creative energy. And the only thing, you don't just create babies, and you don't just create busting nuts, period. That's not reality. There's more. You can create a lot of things with your sexual energy, your creative energy, right? So if you're in this society and you think that's the only thing you can do with it is have sex or bust a nut, then you're sadly mistaken, and you're sadly short-sighted. You're not seeing the whole picture. You don't know self. You don't know you. You don't know your capacity or your capabilities. You don't know what you're capable of, and you need to figure that out. You need to know that you can do more. So yeah, self-control. So figure out self first, and then get into some practices to show you and teach you how to harness that energy. Don't blame other people. That's the big problem. I think that's where a lot of these religions stem from. That the energy is not controlled, and then you create this religion to control it. But the only way that you control this out of control energy is to control other people, because you don't know how to control yourself. So you project that on the other people, and you say, well, since I can't control me, I'll control you. But the reality is, since we're all connected any damn way, you're not controlling anything. You're ruining stuff. You're making it worse. So the only thing that we can do is go backwards and say, okay, let me own this and do some self-control. And it doesn't mean that you just don't have sex. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything with that energy. All energy is creative energy. So control it. And it's control doesn't mean to suppress, deny, remove, ignore. It means to know what to do with it. Actually look up the words and say, what does control mean? And then don't take it as, oh, it means I can just have to deny that I have a penis or I have a vagina and I have these feelings. No, you figure out, what should I be doing with this at this given time? And like she said, that's why we got molestation. That's why we got rape. Because people don't know what to do with their energy. And so it just shoots all over the place, and then you have harm and negativity that comes behind it. So, thank you, China. Thank you so much for being real. And thank you for being authentic and open and genuine and speaking your mind and your heart and your truth. Because I sure as hell am inspired to speak mine, because I'm tired of living this controlled BS lie. Thank you, Tanya.